Hi, I'm Ron,
And I'm Don.
and this is the Ron and Don Show. Thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to take a little bit different direction in a topic. We're going to talk about preparing for the holidays.
Really?
The holidays are coming and you can't stop them. So we're going to do a little Q&A format. I'm going to ask Don some questions as to how he has supported operations in the restaurants when it comes to preparing for the additional loads that one might imagine come from the holiday times. So Don, it would seem most logical to start with the front of the house. Walking through the front doors, what are the things that you can do as a facility manager to support the operations team?
Well, as we've talked about in the past, the outside conditions will have changed in much of the country to being a wetter environment, so they're going to be tracking in more moisture, but more importantly, you're going to be tracking in more soils because of the heavier load of people, more guests coming to your facilities. As a result, you're going to have to increase your carpet cleaning on the traffic areas to a more frequent time, put in more have more mats changed out both inside and out, and just try and intercept as much as you can the soil loads. This may also mean more frequent mopping around the tile that may be near your front door. And believe it or not, if your restrooms are near your front of the house, a number of guests come directly in the restaurant and go directly into the restrooms, so they'll be tracking mud and debris in there as well. So just be conscious of the increased soil loads you'll be bringing into your restaurant.
Very interesting. I would imagine a similar story can be told for the back of the house as well.
Yeah, the trash it will be increased because of the increased volume of sales. There's more guests coming in, so you're going to generate more cardboard and waste to go out to the dumpsters. So the trash pickups may have to be adjusted to more frequently or put in larger containers for a short time period. Furthermore, your grease traps are going to be far more efficient because it's colder soils, colder conditions. The grease traps will separate out at a greater rate, and you may have to increase your grease trap emptying for that brief time period.
Well, grease traps tend to make me think about other components or other pieces of equipment that may also be impacted.
You got colder water coming in the restaurant, and you got more utilization of water, especially hot water. So your water heaters are going to be taxed even more. They're going to run longer to gain the same temperature, 110 to 115 for domestic hand sink water and 140 plus for your dish machines. So you're going to run the water heaters harder because your incoming temperature is lower. Then on top of that, you're going to have more utilization as a result again of more guest count. You may have to look at, are your water heaters going to make it through the season, and have everything set up so that you're ready in an emergency on a Friday or Saturday night to overnight replace failed equipment.
Interesting. Okay, so we've been through the front of the house, the back of the house. We've talked about some equipment. How about the exterior?
Shorter days means your lighting is going to be very important to you, making sure all your light fixtures and signage, landscaping lights, everything, the bulbs are all functioning and working well, that the timers are set to come on even before dusk. Your shortest days of the year are right in the middle of the holidays, December 21st, 22nd. And also make sure that the landscaping has been trimmed back so it's not hiding the light bulbs and causing shadows, as well as any snow that may have come that isn't piled up over the top. You've got increased need for visibility because of the increased need for security at this time of year. You need to have the possibility of even security patrols in certain markets and certain places, just to make sure your guests are safe and your staff are safe going to and from your restaurant from the parking lot.
Okay, so again, we're talking about supporting operations during the holiday season with the additional loads that are placed on a restaurant. So taking that one step further, what other, knowing it's the holiday season, what other miscellaneous things have you encountered along the way?
Decorations for the holiday season get to be an interesting problem. First of all, there's an awful lot of needs for power. If you have a need for power and you're going to hang a cord somewhere, please don't use a metal device to hang it. Don't use a screw or a cup hook or a nail. If the cord is frayed or whatever, you short it out, you have sparks, have excited guests. It's not really the entertainment they came for. Use a plastic, self-adhesive device that you can buy at any hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's. They even sell it in like Walmart, those places. And it's self-adhesive and it wraps around the cord and sticks to the wall. Much safer to hold cords up. If you need an outlet, or if you're going to use an extension cord, at this point, go ahead and have an outlet put in, because you're going to need that outlet there every year for the decorations. So get an outlet put in, be safe. If you need an extension cord, you really shouldn't use an extension cord for more than a week. If you're going to need it, and the holiday season's longer than a week, for more time, get an outlet put in. If you're using an extension cord, I've had 2 restaurants burned down to the ground from extension cord fires. If they're rolled over or walked over by people, they'll fray and they get hot and then they catch on fire. And they'll catch a carpet on fire just as easy as anything else. They'll catch a wall on fire and then you have something going on. If you put it above the ceiling, any rodents that may have gotten in this fall trying to get out of the weather will chew. They love to chew on extension cords, and all kinds of rubber and extension cords are something that they'll chew to the point where, again, they'll get hot and catch on fire. I've seen extension cords running over the ceilings to get power to a radio by a dish machine, or all kinds of other uses. If you're going to use an extension cord, be absolutely certain it is a 3-prong extension cord that has a good, viable, safe, neutral or ground that I'm on it. If it doesn't, especially where you're dealing with wet environments, which your lobby could be, the dish area could be, side stations, you're putting yourself at hazard for shocks.
And your guest as well.
So, absolutely.
Interesting. Okay, well, we're talking about preparing for the holidays and what a facility manager can do to support the restaurant operations team. Sounds like we've covered some pretty good things there, Don.
I hope so. I hope you have a very festive and safe holidays.
Happy holidays. I'm Ron.
And I'm Don.
Thanks for joining us with the Ron and Don Show today. Please subscribe.
It's a church.
It's a Christmas tree.